Hey, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Katie. You're listening to Not-Stalgia, the podcast brought to you by a connect the dots picture that's a little too complex for your age, and you miss a number, and then it's just all over. And then you look back as an adult, and you're like, maybe that's when I realized I had anxiety.
There are only two types of connect the dots. Ones that are insulting to the intelligence of children, where it's just like 4 big dots and it's very obvious, and then what you described.
Yeah, and then you got to make a mandala.
It's too much.
It's not good.
Kate, have you ever seen...
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, they're the modern Stone Age family. From the town of Bedrock, they're a page right out of history. Let's ride with the family down the street, through the courtesy of Fred and Pete. When you're with the Flintstones, have a yabba-dabba-doo time, a dabba-doo time, we'll have a gay old time.
The Flintstones.
I definitely have.
What do you know about it?
I know that Fred Flintstone's a working stiff, works down at the quarry, working hard, breaking rocks. There's pterodactyls there, I think. And then he puts his little feet in his car and he stomps them home. And then Wilma's there. She's hanging out, looking hot, and her what are those big jumbo pearls? And then they just do domestic stuff. Oh, and they have a misbehaving dog dino. Cat dino? I think it's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got a kid. I don't know if it's Pebbles or Bam Bam. I truly do not know. And then they have a neighbor. And I think Barney might have taken one too many knocks at the quarry. And he somehow landed this super hot wife. And then they just do the honeymooners.
Have you seen the Honeymooners?
No.
Can we go back? What is their pet's name?
Michael. Dino?
Oh, yeah.
Dean Martin?
It's Dino. You got it.
They named it after Dean Martin.
When you said they have a pet dino, I wasn't sure if you thought that his name was Dino.
No.
I mean, it is, but...
What else do they do? I think that's it.
You pretty much nailed it.
Do you think that we should cut a hole in our cars now that these gas prices are so high?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I got some boomer humor for you
this
today.
show's supposed to be evergreen. We're not supposed to talk about the gas prices.
The gas prices are going to be evergreen.
Do you remember my first car, my 1997 Ford Escort?
Yeah.
That failed inspection one time because there was a hole growing in the floor.
There was a Fred Flintstone style hole in the floor.
It was the size of a penny, but it could have continued growing if we didn't fix it.
It's got a very catchy 50s style I Love Lucy theme song.
Do you remember how it goes?
Yeah, I do. I'm not going to sing it. Not for you. Not for you either, podcast land.
All right.
I'm punchy today. I had a latte. And then...
She's out of control.
Oh, and they sold cigarettes.
Wow, you know everything. Who created this show?
That one with the bad animation.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yes, that one.
Wow.
Got it.
Okay. I basically don't even need to do notes, but if I were going to, here's what they would sound like. I'm not going to get into the whole Hanna-Barbera story. I had to write myself a note in all caps at the top that says, do not get into the whole Hanna-Barbera story. I really want to. Another day.
Just calm yourself.
When we do a Tom and Jerry episode, we'll talk more about Hanna-Barbera.
Great.
William Hanna and Joseph Barbera are the creators of this show. They're 2 animators. This is the very, very short version. 1 bullet point. They met in the 30s and 40s working at MGM making cartoons. They created Tom and Jerry. They made the opening credits for I Love Lucy on the sly because they were like rising stars in animation. And then when movie animation kind of went away and TV rose, they were really smart and became TV animators. They started their own television animation studio called Hanna-Barbera in 1957. They make some of the most iconic cartoons ever. Yes, sometimes the animation is kind of cheap, but it's out of necessity. It has to be. The budget is just so much less because you have to make so much content to make a TV show for so little budget compared to the huge amount of resources they used to get to make cartoons for movie theaters. This is one of their earliest shows. It's the first time they make a show for prime time rather than like Saturday morning and stuff like that. And yes, it was inspired by the Honeymooners. Inspired by, I want to put in air quotes because it's like a pretty blatant ripoff of the Honeymooners to the point where Jackie Gleason was gonna sue them, but his counsel advised him out of it because they're like, people are gonna like hate you because everyone loves the Flintstones.
Yeah, and you can't sue a cartoon man.
That was the quote that that is
can't.
given when he talks about it. He's like, I was told don't sue Fred Flintstone. People will literally hate you. I thought that's interesting. He should have made royalties on this because it's literally his thing. I've never seen the Honeymooners either. I don't think it is like one of the most iconic sitcoms up there with I Love Lucy.
Yeah, she's got a lot of like domestic violence in it.
We should watch it
And then everyone
sometime.
laughs. They're like, oh, he's going to beat his wife.
We really,
That's my summary.
I want to watch it sometime. That was only on for one season, The Honeymooners from 1955 to 1956, and the characters in the Flintstones, especially Fred and Barney, are imitations of the lead two actors from The Honeymooners.
Okay.
Hanna-Barbera does this a lot, which is so weird because they're so creative in some ways where they're like prehistoric sitcom. Great, super clever. But then in other ways, a lot of the main Hanna-Barbera characters are just impressions of famous TV actors of the day, which is kind of weird when you think about it. And extra weird when these shows would air again on Cartoon Network, in the 90s and 2000s, when by the time I'm watching them, I don't know what they're referencing. These shows re-aired way more than most of the live action shows they were inspired and ripped off from. So, Hanna-Barbera's first three shows were the Rough and Ready Show, the Huckleberry Hound Show, and the Quick Draw McGraw Show. Have you seen any of those?
No.
Those were made specifically for children. Hanna-Barbera wanted to break into a wider market, right? So they could sell things like cigarettes, I guess, in their shows. So by doing a not just for kids, but for kind of the whole family show, airing it in primetime like a real sitcom, that was kind of the idea here. They wanted to just sort of expand their market share. And they take the Honeymooners, put them in this sort of anachronistic prehistoric setting that's really very clearly just the 50s and 60s, but prehistoric style. It aired on ABC at 8:30 on Fridays, 8:30 p.m. primetime, baby. Later, it moved to 7:30 on Thursdays and eventually 7:30 on Fridays, but the point is these are all really good primetime slots. We're going to learn about this more later when we talk about the TGIF block. We saw Full House, that was a TGIF show. But later in like the 90s, Friday night stops becoming a valuable slot because like young people are going out instead of watching TV on Friday night. But back then, back in the 60s, Friday night prime time. So it aired from September 30th, 1960 to April 1st, 1966. They made 6 seasons and 166 episodes. In 1966, they also put out a theatrical animated movie called The Man Called Flintstone, which was a very topical James Bond parody with Fred Flintstone. I think it used to air on Cartoon Network, but I don't think I've seen it. This show has a ridiculous amount of spin-offs. I'm definitely not naming them all, but there was the Pebbles and Bam Bam Show, the Flintstones Comedy Hour, the new Fred and Barney Show, the Flintstones Comedy Show, the Flintstones Kids, where they make them young, the Cave Kids, the Rubbles, the Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs. It just goes on and on. That one's like from 2021, the Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs. They keep doing this. They also put together these weird compilation shows. Hanna-Barbera is great at taking their old stuff and like repackaging it, making you watch it again a decade later. The Flintstones Comedy Show in the early 70s, the Fred Flintstone and Friends Show in the late 70s, the Flintstones Funnies in the 80s. They had a bunch of TV specials. They had live action movies, as you know, the John Goodman one in 1994. They had one where they're younger and meeting and dating in 2000, the Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. It just goes on and on. Another thing about the Flintstones that's important is their product tie-ins. For some reason, they have been and continue to be used to promote products, starting with Winston cigarettes in the first 2 seasons of the show. They, of course, have Flintstones vitamins. They have Cocoa and Fruity Pebbles cereal, the push-up ice cream novelties that we did a whole episode on a while ago. It's just so weird. Like, they continued promoting things and still do, even though the Flintstones is not a show anymore. Like, it ended in 1966, the original version, and yet they're still spokes characters. And Flintstones comes into my life with the movie, of course, in 1994. I had that on VHS. I didn't watch it a ton, but then once we got Cartoon Network in my house, I saw it all the time there because Cartoon Network is largely it was made originally as a spot to air old cartoons, largely the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, so they played it a lot. All right. I just remember, I think it was on like in the afternoons in the summer. I remember kind of laying around and watching it a lot on lazy summer days when I should have been outside.
Jesus Christ on a bike. Why didn't your parents put you out more?
And what was your experience with the Flintstones? Do you remember watching it, or it's just kind of culturally...
Yeah, it's just baked in.
Right.
We're
going to watch 2 episodes. There's kind of different eras of the show, the way I think about it. There's the era that I like best, because we relate to it, the childless era. The show starts with just the 2 couples who are neighbors just kind of hanging out and not having kids and just being young and married. Then there's an era where they have, the Flintstones have Pebbles, and Wilma gets pregnant. They do like a pregnancy story arc on this show, kind of like I Love Lucy. And then the Rubbles, I believe, wish on a shooting star. They're like infertile and struggling to have a baby, and they wish on a shooting star that they would have a baby, and then Bam Bam shows up at their doorstep and is strong, and he's like super strong and picks up Barney and beats him all the time. So there's this era where they have young kids. And then towards the end of the show, when they jump the shark, there's this character. Do you know who the Great Gazoo is?
No, babe.
Oh, well, you're in luck. Because we're going to watch 2 episodes. Season 2, episode 14, an early one, The House Guest. And then we're going to go to the end of the series after it jumps the shark. Season 6, episode 7, The Great Gazoo. The moment that they jump the shark, in my opinion. And we're going to see if the Flintstones holds up. Okay, we're going to start with a cigarette commercial.
Gee, we ought to do something, Fred. Okay. How's about taking a nap? Hey, I got a better idea. Let's take a Winston break.
That's it. Winston is the one filter cigarette that delivers flavor 20 times a pack. Winston's got that filter blend.
Yeah, Fred. Filter blend makes the big taste difference, and only Winston has it up front where it counts. Here, ahead of the pure white filter. Winston packs rich tobaccos specially selected and specially processed for good flavor in filter smoking.
What do you think?
It was wild.
So the Flintstones are literally just watching their wives. So Fred and Barney are watching their wives do all these crazy chores. And they're like, let's go around back where we can't see them. And then they just smoke cigarettes and talk about how great tasting the cigarettes are.
It's just like I Love Lucy with the Philip Morris. It's so weird. And the cigarettes are like live action photographs on the
They're
cartoon.
just holding them up.
If Fred was a real friend, he'd ask us to stay here instead of going to a hotel at those rates.
That's crazy.
They're supposed to be our best friends.
Yes, and let's keep it that way.
And what's more, he's a cheapskate. And another thing...
Shh, quiet, Barney.
Folks, you're not going to a hotel.
What do you mean?
You're gonna stay right here with us.
You're the best cheapskate neighbor a fella ever had.
Hold it. We may be making a big mistake if we stay.
I'm afraid so.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what mistake?
You know what's going to happen if you and Barney are cooped up here together.
What's going to happen?
You're going to start fighting, that's what.
Me and my pal fight?
We're buddies.
My bosom buddy and my lifelong pal.
La-chee-cha-chee.
I like their little sleep dresses.
Yeah, Fred is in like a sleep shirt.
Do they have adjoining homes also?
No.
Are they in a twin?
So this, you'll see, this episode, I think the Rubbles are temporarily staying with the Flintstones.
Does he hit the ground really fast with his feet to make him go fast?
Yeah, at the
And then
beginning-
he puts his feet up?
I never really thought about this. Yeah, in the intro, he's just cruising. His feet are not moving. His car's moving. There we go. Yeah, look, there he goes.
Yeah.
When he accelerates from a stop, he can then put his feet up and coast on the momentum.
So it's just the 60s, but everything's made of rock. You just got a TV made of rock. I hate it here. Barney doesn't have any eyes also. They're just olive rings. Look at them. They're just a sliced olive.
I always love when an animal is being used as some form of technology and then it turns to camera and it's like, it's a living. They do it all the time. Like, for example, this car wash made of mammoths and monkeys and, what was that, a porcupine? I don't know.
They're doing that Naruto run. Their arms don't move. Ah, yes, the prehistoric plumber joke. Ah, yes, the casual sexism of the prehistoric man.
There's a woman for you.
She'll spend money getting a plumber.
Right, so they're trying to do some basic home repair. It's just not happening.
We've
I
all
do
been
identify with this.
Yeah. So the whole trick to this cheap animation, see how every character has a neck, like a necklace or a collar? It's so that they can just reuse the body and only animate the heads.
Oh, I see that.
It's very clever. Their mouths are like this too. That's why Fred and Barney always have stubble, so they can just replace the mouths. The casual way that the plumber is like, oh, you want to lie to your wife about how much this costs?
Yeah, go ahead.
Only time I lie to you is when I tell you how long it's going to take to record an episode of Not-Stalgia.
Also, is Fred like 60? Betty and Barney have a leak in their home. They have to vacate for a few days. And Fred's like, oh, can we just let him stay with us? And Wilma's like, absolutely not. That's my energy. I'm here for it. I just love that their two wives are just setting them up to fail. I'm here for it. Fred Flintstone is always like, I'm gonna commit murder. And you're just like, what? Why is this funny? Is it because he's in like a toga dress?
He's threatening to kill Barney, basically, because Barney left a drawer open.
I mean, in fairness, I have also threatened to kill you because you've left a drawer
Yeah,
open.
you really hate it when I leave like a sock drawer open.
Yeah, because it looks like a poltergeist lives here. You leave every drawer open. I'm gonna commit moida. Ah, yes, the boss is good.
Yeah, why does Fred Flintstone have to be on call from his boss on the weekend?
Because
And he's happy about it.
he's a happy American business male. Wilma is carrying around this absolutely massive pizza, but it appears to have no cheese, like a tomato pie, I
Yeah.
guess. I'm confused.
I don't know what prehistoric pizza was like.
It's not a very appetizing looking pizza, right?
No, the food on the Flintstones is really strange. Like big ribs. That meatball Fred had earlier that was like bigger than his plate. I guess it's made of dinosaur meat. Come on, you ever have something special in the fridge and someone eats all of it?
Yeah, that one time when your dad's friend ate my special French onion mac and cheese. He ate the whole thing. I made it and I only had one little bit and I left it out. Cool. And then he came and he ate the whole tray of French onion mac and cheese.
He was doing some like carpentry or something at the house, right? It was a good looking mac and cheese too.
It was delicious. I hope he enjoyed it. The prehistoric 60s when you could just beat the shit out of your friend and fight.
Fred literally challenged Barney to a fist fight to settle this.
Look how tiny their feet are. Look at Betty and Wilma's feet.
For contrast, wait till Fred and Barney come back in frame.
I guess that's like your feet and my feet.
Like all fights, they're really just posturing. Nobody wants to throw the first fist.
No, boys, you're both so strong.
Just everyone's fighting with everyone.
Yeah.
Wilma's fighting with Fred.
Yeah.
Wilma and Betty are fighting. Fred and Barney fought.
And then they just eat a mammoth steak. That's the
That's the
joke.
show in a nutshell. That's every episode.
Everybody fights. Fred Flintstone breaks rocks in a quarry. Then he paddles his feet home to fight with everyone. Is this what the 60s were like? Just everyone fighting? It's all that lead in the air, I guess. Read that study. It really explains a lot. Oh, don't forget to put your stone milk jugs out for the prehistoric milkman.
Almighty Gazoo, I'd like a big juicy Bronta burger. Hey, it works! How about $20? Hey, my turn. I want a beautiful new dress for my wife. Me too. I want a beautiful new dress for my wife. I'd like a gym set for Bam Bam. I'd like a new doll for Pebbles. We need some garden furniture. We need a new dining room set. New golf clubs. A fishing pole. Bowling ball.
Have your fun, fellows. But take heed, greed brings trouble. Which is now approaching. An officer of the law, I believe.
You explain all this to him, will you, Gazoo?
I can't. You two are the only ones who can see me.
Let's not bother Daddy, Pebbles, my child. He's a man. Man, when you had to get dressed up to go out to dinner. I guess there's still restaurants like this. We're just too
We just
poor
don't
to know.
go to them, yeah. Ever since we stopped putting in embedded ads, to the podcast we can't go to. What's this place called?
The Chateau Rockin' Blue or something. They just replaced every word with rock.
You could write for the Flintstones.
Oh, here's a UFO. I guess this is like the theory about like the pyramids.
Kind
you know?
of, right. Aliens might have visited Ancient Man. Oh, he's not just an alien. I forgot about this. He also has knowledge of the future.
What? I hate it here.
He's a time-traveling alien.
He's got a persecution complex. He's like, because of my one tiny invention, I was exiled. What did he invent? The atomic bomb?
He invented a button that would just murder everyone in the universe instantly.
Sure, it's a thing.
So he's been sent back in time to hang out with Fred and Barney.
It just was a punishment. I mean, this is a punishment for me, so I'm really feeling like the Great Gazoo here. I do like that this policeman is hammering out a citation on a stone tablet, but I don't really like much anything else. I do like how naughty the Great Gazoo is. He did invent some kind of humanity eraser, which doesn't seem good, but he is also low-key naughty, which I like.
Just making a police officer's bike disappear for no reason other than just to mess with him.
I like that energy.
How many times are we going to have to hear this little xylophone sound effect when the Great Gazoo materializes or creates something?
He's like, look, I'll annihilate your wives. They're like, oh, our wives don't believe us. Can't you do something, Great Gazoo? And he's like, watch me.
So only Fred and Barney can see him, but also the babies and Dino, but no one else.
Their wives are like, we're really concerned about your mental health. Something's just wrong here and we don't like it. And then they're like, ooh, presents.
Fred and Barney look like they're going to the Country Music Awards.
It's just a tuxedo shirt.
Sleeveless.
No pants.
Oh man, we didn't get to see Wilma's mom, Fred and his mother-in-law.
Oh, yes.
Famously feud.
We love a mother-in-law joke. You love your mother-in-law.
There's a whole episode where she comes to visit. She's going to come stay, and Fred builds an entire new home for her just so she won't stay with them. I wonder what the inflation is on $225 for dinner from 17,000 BC or whenever they live.
Let's see what it is from the 60s. That might be a little easier.
Because $225 for a fancy French dinner for 4 people now, that sounds about
What did we want
right.
to say, 1960?
1966 is when this episode came out.
$1,900.
$1,900 with inflation? Yeah. Wow, okay, we would need a little green alien to help us. But of course, he's not appearing now.
Okay, so Fred and Barney wished on this magical green boy and then went out to this fancy dinner they couldn't afford, cheated all these people out, right? And then Wilma's like, it was my fault. I was the one who made the mistake of asking to go to this dinner we can't afford. What is money? How do you make money? I don't know how much money you make at that rock quarry. So, not great.
Did you have a gay old time?
I did not. I had a sad old time. I was bored. It was just a 60s sitcom with all the worst things about like a 60s sitcom, including the laugh track when you're just not laughing.
Yeah, the laugh track is never a good
and-
addition. It's like kind of silly in a bizarre way to watch it on an old cartoon, but it doesn't add much.
I was just bored. It was all the worst tropes of a TV show, and then they added a dinosaur.
They were a little long.
They were very long.
You know, making them full half-hour episodes, which I get it. It's, you know, it's supposed to mimic a normal sitcom, but just like when we watched Donna Reed a few weeks ago, where we were just like so bored towards like the middle to end portion of the second episode. That's kind of what I was feeling here. Were you getting kind of bored?
My eyes were hurting. Yeah, it wasn't super fun. It was fun to look at the prehistoric gadgets.
Right, that's kind of the main.
But yeah, it was
the
dumb.
main gimmick here, right? It's just a normal sitcom with normal sitcom storylines.
I just want them to sell me cigarettes.
Then suddenly an alien though shows up, and he sticks around for multiple episodes of this final season.
I think I have the Great Kazoo energy. I pop up, I cause trouble, then I go take a nap, and no one can find me.
You call me a dum-dum?
I do call you a dum-dum.
You dum-dums. Yeah, it just felt like they were like running out of ideas, and they're like, now there's an alien who can grant their wishes. Whoa-wee, look at this. Very strange.
It's too much.
Very strange. Yeah, you know, as much as I want to love the Flintstones, it really didn't do a lot for me today.
Yeah, this was a chunk of time that I feel like I'll never get back.
Well, wait till you see what happens next week.
Ugh, what?
With the Flintstones, you know, sister show, The Jetsons. How's that for a cliffhanger? Where you can see dated 60s attitudes in a future setting.
That's just 2022.
All right, let us know what to watch next after The Jetsons. You can send us a voicemail. You can send us an email, notstalgia@aol.com. Visit our website, notstalgia.org. Find us on social media. We're at Not-Stalgia on pretty much everything. Twitter, Instagram, wherever. Facebook, MySpace. Yabba dabba do.
Yabba dabba don't.
Yabba dabba.
Yabba dabba do.
Yabba dabba do. Subscribe to Not-Stalgia on your podcast app.
The Flintstones has been brought to you by Winston, America's best-selling, best-tasting filter cigarette. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.